This video is made possible by our sponsors, AJA. We'd like to thank AJA for all their support and tell you to go to aja.com for all your production and post-production needs. Hi, I'm Gordon Burkell from Filmmaker U. At Filmmaker U, we create courses for film professionals to deepen and diversify your existing skill set. You can learn more at filmmakeru.com, or of course follow us on Instagram at filmmaker_u. Every week we interview a film professional to discuss their work, and this week I'm joined by director Nick Murray, who is an Emmy Award-winning director and was recently nominated again for his work on RuPaul's Drag Race. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I guess you've been working on RuPaul's Drag Race for quite a while. So I'm wondering, what has changed in the show since you started?
What has changed in the show from my point of view? I think that we've massively increased the production value of the show since when we first started. I think the show looks incredible. It's always looked really good, but every year we try and increase, the production value on screen, be it from lighting, production design, the way we shoot stuff, the way it's put together, the way it's produced. So yeah, I've been really proud that over the years we've managed to not only sustain a quality look, but also increase the production value over the years and make it a more visual feast from my point of view.
No, the one you're nominated for right now is Wig Loose, the musical, correct?
That's correct, yes.
So when you do the Emmys, you guys choose which one to submit. So what was it about Wig Loose that you guys thought?
Well, shooting the performance, well, I get to choose which episode. I'm proud of all the episodes, but maybe the one I'm most proud of is the Rusical that we do every year. And last year was like you said, the Wig Loose Rusical. It's my favorite part of shooting Drag Race, is shooting the performances, musical performances, be it musical theatre type like Wig Loose, or music video, which we also do the same season. We also do many seasons. So yeah, that's the most enjoyable aspect of doing the show and shooting from my point of view. So that's why I like to have that up for nomination if possible.
Yeah.
I think what attracted me to color correction was the fact that we were like the next stage of cinematography. And the creative side was huge, trying to understand what was wrong with an image, how to balance it, trying to understand how to let the tools do what you want them to do. Where else can the technology go? What else can we do? I'm very interested in trying to mold the image and create the best look possible. And whatever tools are out there, you want to try and latch onto them. I'm Eric Whipp, and this is my course on color correction.
Well, what are some of the challenges of shooting the musicals? Because like you said, they've done them throughout the seasons. So
with any production where we have time limitations, so we have shoot days which we sometimes wish were a lot longer, and they're already quite long. So it's the constraints are normally time and being able to maximize our shoot day, being able to shoot it in the way that I want to shoot it in the time that's allotted to do so. Because not only do we shoot the Rusical on one day, but we also shoot half the show on one day as well. It's only a portion of the show. We don't unfortunately have a whole day to shoot the Rusical, so it's it's packed into an already busy schedule. So from my point of view, that's the biggest sort of stress is are we going to be able to get everything I want into the allotted time to shoot.
Interesting. Now you've mentioned you have short, like not short days, but your days aren't long enough sometimes.
Sometimes they're not long enough because there's lots to do and we've lots to shoot.
Well, I was going to ask, what is a typical day like for you directing Drag
Well,
Race?
a typical day is a typical episode on Drag Race is shot over 2 days typically. It's you know, sometimes with the Rusical we have an off-camera rehearsal day, and sometimes we don't. More so we do these days, but typically, you know, the day the episode is split into 2 days. First day is the intro and mini challenge if there is one, and then the maxi challenge setup. And depending on what the maxi challenge is, it's we either shoot that in the afternoon of day one, or as in the case of Rusical, we shoot an on-camera rehearsal, record the lyrics on the day one, and then shoot the Rusical on day two. Typically, a day two is runway prep and the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, where we see if it's a performance or if it's, you know, in this case it's wig loose, we'd shoot that on day two. And then of course we have, you know, the critiques, deliberation, I've finished lip sync, and then elimination. So that an episode is spread over 2 days.
And so you talked about in the first one working out sort of the script for the Rusical. What, like, how do you guys, like, is it a team effort to figure out the references and all the fun stuff you're
Oh
gonna do, or is
yeah,
that...
yeah. So it's, you know, the we do like a pun on this show. So, you know, sometimes the Rusicals are spurned from just, you know, footloose. Oh, wig loose.
Yeah.
You know, so it comes from a pun, and then it goes. The producers have ideas, and then they speak with the composer Leland, and it's a big collaboration. And then from that, it takes place over a number of weeks. The Rusical is written, and then the production designer, Emmy-winning production designer, is brought on to then decide how we're gonna, you know, portray the Rusical on the main stage. And we did it in 3, which was quite unusual. We've moved recently towards changing the setup for different acts within the Rusical. So there was 3 distinct sets that were placed on our main stage for Wig Loose this year. And so once that's decided, the sets are built, and then we go through the process of finalizing the music edits and the whole Rusical. It's all put to music, and then, you know, when it comes time to shoot the episode, we then it depends where it lies in the season. So we'll you know, then it's explained to the queens, and then it's an actual process of being in production, of actually shooting it over 2-3 days, like I said, you know, with maybe the second day being an off-camera rehearsal. In the midst of all of that, there's then the choreographer that's brought on to think about, and then eventually one of the most important parts is choreograph it. And then from that, the choreography, that's when I get involved and liaise with the lighting department as well as the choreographer, and decide exactly how I'm going to shoot it.
So I was watching a couple of interviews that you had done prior to this, and there was a moment in one where you talked about sort of the emotions coming from the queens and dealing, you know, like sort of, there was a great moment that you sort of captured with one. And I'm wondering, because, you know, if we're directing like a fiction piece, you can go up to the actor and talk about, you know, the emotion that you want and work on this. But when you're dealing with like a reality show, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen, or, you know, where the emotions might come out.
Yeah, so, you know, they are lip syncing to their own lyric, you know, to the lyrics that they pre-recorded. So, you know, during the recording process, they come up with the way they're going to say each lyric and line,
Mhm.
But that sometimes is there, you know, when you actually see them do it, there are obviously facial expressions and intonations in the way they articulate their mouth when they're lip syncing, because they're actually singing. So sometimes you never know, and with something, you know, as emotional as Wig Loose, you know, they immerse themselves in a character. I do think that with regard to Wig Loose, you know, the fun thing is that they cast it themselves.
Mhm.
There's an on-camera, you know, big group discussion of the queens, and they all vie for whatever part they want. So that is a very interesting process to actually watch. And I think in Wig Loose, you know, it was pretty perfectly cast. I don't know how there's a lot of times where we're all like, oh my God, this is like the perfect cast, that this particular queen has this role, that particular queen has that role. And it all works out when we see the final product. It's like, well, I couldn't imagine anybody else being in that role. You know,
Mhm.
the queens really do a lot of the work, you know, with the characterization and, you know, the way the character is performed and portrayed on camera.
So what are some of the challenges of shooting like the runway and the lip sync for your life?
Well, I've done it a lot now. So it's now it's fun. You know, I try and every year I try and do a little, you know, try and give an extra camera or a new piece of technology in the way that we shoot the show. And last year we had a new crane employed on the show. So I hope that comes across, you know, visually when it's all put together. I wouldn't say the specific challenges.
Mhm.
You know, it's something that we do episode in every episode. Um, you know, the lighting department here is fantastic. So I'm always interested to see, you know, how they come up with their lighting design for the way the lip sync looks. And then, you know, it's always interesting to see the way the queens perform, you know, because there's a lot of money at the end of the season up for grabs. So they're very sort of emotionally involved in it. And when you have to lip sync for your life, it's literally, you know, you're either going to
Yeah.
win or you're going to go home. So, you know, we make sure at the end of it, if we can, you know, we don't interrupt their settling at the end. We let it breathe and, you know, to get that final emotion out once they've done their performance. Before then we get into the decision making that obviously Rue makes.
So what would you say is your favorite part of directing RuPaul's Drag Race?
The musical performances, I have to
Yeah.
say. The music videos, the musical performances, any of the big challenges. I love the comedy, and I you know, it's mainly the challenges. So the roasts, anything comedic. I love shooting our acting challenges, especially when Rue's directing. He brings an extra, you know, zip of fun onto the set, and he's very obviously invested in it. And you know, he really pushes the queens for a great performance. I love everything about Drag Race. I've been on it now for 13 years. I feel humbled, proud, extremely proud to be involved in such a phenomenal show that now is, you know, reaches all parts of the globe. I've been on it since season 3,
Mhm.
and I hope to be on it for, you know, as long as it keeps going.
Well, and it's so culturally significant in the sense that it's like helped push forward various things and make people more comfortable with community.
It's, you know, it's made drag mainstream.
Yeah.
You know, it's a family feast now. If you want, you know, my kids watch it. They love it. You can watch it on different levels. You know, my kids like my daughter who's 12. She likes watching runway. It's into the fashion and the dancing and the music. It's, you know, it's I'm really proud of the way that we've been able to, you know, make a big cultural shift
Mhm.
or inclusion, acceptance, and you know, just fun. That's the bottom line. It's fun. And one of my favorite things about Drag Race, I've got to mention, is when Ru laughs. It's the most, he has the most infectious laugh that I've ever heard. It's, you know, and it's phenomenal. Everybody, you know, it makes everybody feel really good. When Ru laughs, it's a very, very happy set.
So I have one last question for you. What would you say is your favorite guilty pleasure film or TV show to watch?
I'm a huge Succession fan.
Oh yeah, how'd you like the ending? Not to
I thought it was the ending. You know, I didn't really see it coming. They
Interesting.
did
I
a
didn't
really
either,
good
but
job. I thought the brothers would, naively maybe, because I thought it'd be quite nice if the brothers, you know, eventually got the mantle.
yeah,
In the same way, you know, because it's loosely based on the Murdochs.
yeah.
But so I was rather shocked. But I have to say, I've watched it twice, all the seasons twice now, and one of the greatest TV shows ever made, I think.
Yeah, it's very
Along with Drag
Shakespearean.
Race.
Yeah,
Say again.
it's very Shakespearean, right? Like
Oh,
it's
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
It's very well. I mean, the writing is phenomenal.
yeah.
And I find it funny. Roman's character is hilarious.
Well, thank you so much for letting me interview you today.
Of course, anytime. Thanks very much for having me on.
Yeah, and that's it for this week, everyone. Make sure to check us out at filmmakeru.com, or of course follow us on Instagram at filmmaker_u. I'm Gordon Burkell. Thanks for watching. This video is made possible by our sponsors, AJA. We'd like to thank AJA for all their support and tell you to go to AJA.com for all your production and post-production needs.